Guys, welcome in to the 20th episode of Tunesday Tuesday with your host, yours truly, Boston Chris. And we have a treat for everybody out there tonight. I can't believe, first of all, that we've been doing Tuesday for 20 weeks already. We've had 19 live guests on the show. Starting tonight will be our 19th. Of course, the very first episode was kind of a guinea pig run, and it went well, so we decided to do it. And I have a lot of fun doing these live shows every Tuesday at 8 p.m. If you're watching live, we are on Facebook and Twitch this week. I don't know why TikTok's not working. I'm going to have to get my IT person on that, but it is not working. So we'll figure that out hopefully in time for next week. But the young lady that I have as my guest tonight is the young lady you just heard singing that last song, getting us into this show. Her name is Hope Cassity, and I have known Hope for 7 years and about 3 or 4 months. It was October of 2017 when Hope visited us in Longview for an episode of the ETX Rock Show, and boy, she's just a great artist. I have a feeling this is going to be a tough interview because she's been through a lot, and I really want to kind of see her story, tell her story, all the things she's gone through, and has come out the other side as a victor, as a survivor, and really excited for you guys to get to know Hope tonight as well. So without further ado, also, before I get into the interview with Hope, if you are here through YouTube, make sure if you want to watch the recap, including all the music tonight, that link will be in the description below for the episode 20 recap. Otherwise, you're probably just going to see the interview without the music. So if you want to see the whole show, you're only here for the interview. That's in the link below. So check that out. But without any further ado, let's get into my interview with Miss Hope Cassity, who's waiting patiently backstage. Let's go talk to her. Hope, sweetheart, how are you tonight?
Hi, I'm so good.
I
So
was
good.
just telling the people out there that it has been 7 years since you and I met.
What?
Yeah.
I can't even believe that.
2017, you and I met for an episode of my old podcast. We met through Rob Redwine, of all people. And
Oh
you,
yeah.
you remember you had recorded one of his songs, and still one of my favorite songs to this day. We just played Hold Steady, the song that you
Oh,
put out
cool.
last year.
Oh,
How'd you
cool.
get Garrett Owen, of all people, to do a song with you? What a talented dude that is.
So, Garrett and I kind of bonded at the Dripping Springs Songwriter Festival over just music and talking and some health stuff. Actually, a long time ago, he was going through some stuff, and we just bonded. And whenever I was working with this with Taylor Tatch and one of my good friends, Matthew Thornton, they both co-produced this record. And um, Taylor goes, "Well, Garrett, was in the studio, and we just took the time to throw him on your song." I was like, "What?"
Oh my
So
gosh,
that's
that's
how
great.
that happened.
That's
So
amazing.
it was a surprise. I mean, I had asked, talked to him before about singing on some tracks or whatever, but I didn't know it was actually going to happen. So it
That's
did.
amazing. So it was a surprise to you.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a great song. I love the repeating of the words get ready over and over again, and it's so
Hold
true.
steady. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So that's like one of the things that I've noticed about that song that like really blew my mind. People connect really, really strongly to that song. Like
Yeah.
out of all the new ones, when they hear it, they're like that it just sticks in their head. And the repetitive factor is not anything intended. When I was going through all this stuff and started writing it, like I was kinda in this mantra mode where I was singing the melody over and over and over and over because sometimes that helps me write new lyrics,
Hmm.
right? And so I was kinda in that mode, and that's where that came from. And on one of the work tapes, I just kept saying, "Hold steady, hold steady, hold steady," and I counted them, and it was like 27 times or something,
Wow.
you know? It was ridiculous, and I was like, "Holy moly," I said that a lot. I bet I broke all the Nashville songwriting rules about not repeating words. I was like, "But oh well." It healed me. I needed to say it that many times. And every time I sing it that many times, it helps me, and I think it helps other people.
Yeah, it definitely resonates with people, doesn't it? Do you hear people's stories come from that song?
Yeah, I think that's one of the most surprising things about my job that I really, I kind of knew all along because I've done this since I was a little kid. But the older you get, the more personal the stories get.
Mm-hmm.
And people really share their heart with you after meeting you for about 5 seconds after a song that they've connected with. They open their whole world up to you, and sometimes heavy, sometimes beautiful moments that are we're crying backstage and we're connecting, and it's really hard sometimes in that moment. You want to just give them your undivided attention, and people are pulling you in 10 different ways. Like the stage takes, like, get your stuff off the stage,
Mm-hmm.
and you're trying to have this like personal moment with people, and you just have to stop and turn everything off and go, like, listen to them. They need you in this moment. They're connecting. And
Mm-hmm.
so I try to do that. I try to have blinders on to everything outside that's pulling people want to be next to take their picture and everything, and I just focus on that and hear their stories, and I take those home with me, and I think about them when I'm at the verge of wanting to give up music because it's a hard career,
Mm-hmm.
or going through something personal. I think, well, think of all the people that are touched by, music.
And I mean, you've always had kind of a raw edge to your art anyway. You've always been vulnerable and um, confident in putting your feelings out there. You feel like that's gotten more so as you've aged?
Yes, like, I think, the veil came off,
Yeah.
like, at some point when they were trying to turn me into Miranda Lambert, I was like, "Nope, I'm done." So, it's like, I think it came, like, with the rawness of having to shave my head and be a whole different look and a whole different human being. I'm not anywhere close to the person you met, back then. I remember driving to your studio in the middle like, I was driving to Texas in the middle of the night that
Yeah.
night, and I had
Mm-hmm.
just driven across Alabama, Louisiana, like, whoa, 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 one of those long road trips. And I was in a lot of pain. Like, I probably had the cancer back then when we met. I was really swollen, I remember, and just feeling awful. And I just think about those moments where somehow, I held on just a little bit longer, hold steady, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just hold steady and get into, the next moment to where you can, like, you've got another chance to do something else. But music's been really healing for me.
Well, I wanted to thank you. I know it's been, almost 8 years since that day in
Hmm.
Longview, but, having a songwriter coming from so far away, states away to come visit us just to chat, man, you gave us a lot of credibility and just in that visit, just
Uh-huh.
being able to showcase a writer from outside of Texas. And because of you, we were getting a lot of other artists after that
That's
that
awesome.
so I wanted to thank you for that, first of all. You are from Alabama, right?
Yeah, I am, and I was doing, we were talking about a lot of Mississippi artists and
Mm-hmm.
just people. I was kind of doing 200 shows a year at that point, and really hitting the road hard. And so, yeah, coming out there was, anybody that would give me an opportunity, to sing on her show or to share music, man, I was just like, let's go,
Mm-hmm.
Of course, some things have slowed me down and made me be more intentional with what I'm doing now, and I'm doing it in a different way. But yeah, still same stuff, and I'm so excited that things have grown for you. I've watched you, through your process, and things change with podcasting, and I love this new platform.
Thank you so much. It's so good to have you here too. Like, and I don't just mean here on the show. I mean here on the earth because like I've
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
you know what I mean. Like I've seen the ringers that you have gone through since we met so many years
Oh
ago,
yeah.
and here you are. You're still smiling. You still got a twinkle in your eye, and I love that about you. You are such a survivor. Try to. I know we don't have a lot of time, but like try to tell
Yeah.
people what you've gone through since we last saw each other.
Holy moly.
Yeah, I know it's going to
We
be
might have to
difficult,
have a couple episodes.
right?
But I'll tell the short version, okay? So was getting a lot of music attention when you and I were meeting.
Hmm.
Things, if I only had a heart, was really catching people's attention for the first time. I was getting people calling me that were, mentors, or like people that I looked up to that were like, holy smokes, Hope, you finally found your voice with
Hmm.
this song. Rob and I'm getting emotional because Rob and I are so close. Um I think if I only had a heart really taught me how to just sing without caring what the industry wants.
To
And
set you
so
free in a
that was,
way, artistically.
It did. It
Yeah.
wasn't my song, and it
Right.
gave me a voice that wasn't mine. Like, I didn't have to protect the song so much. It was like,
Yeah.
this is just something I have to do because I heard it and I loved it. And so, like, even though everybody was trying to steer me in this pop country direction, I was feeling so more Americana than anything, and I was like, "You guys had me all wrong,"
Yeah.
you know? And so I ended up, let me not get long-winded, but I ended up getting close to, like, this major deal, with signing papers and, contracts, and, was gonna go on a big bus tour and have a picture plastered all over a bus. I was doing photo shoots for huge magazines, and, in the middle of a photo shoot, got really sick. My friend was like, "What is wrong?" And she's like, "Are you pregnant?" And I was like, "I don't have a boyfriend. That's not possible."
Yep.
So, it's like, I don't know what's wrong, and eventually went through 6 CAT scans over, a long time, and they all said clear. I went to the ER a lot. They all said clear. I swelled up like a little Pillsbury Dough girl. They still said nothing's wrong. My family, friends, everybody thought I was crazy. People were like, "What's wrong with her?" Like,
Hmm.
she's just suddenly sick all the time, And I was like, "I don't know, but something's there." And finally, I went for a second opinion. They did an ultrasound, and they even didn't say it was cancer. Like, looking back on it's insane, because if I look at the picture and show you, like, a third grader could tell you there was cancer there.
Hmm.
But they said, "Oh, we think it's a cyst," and they operated, and ended up not being a cyst. They spilled it inside of me, and it was cancer.
Mm.
So that was like a huge, like, holy moly, my life is just, when that happened, within a week, the deal was over, the music deal was over. My ex-husband left me, left me without a home during chemo. Like, I was immediately thrust in the hospital for 3 months, and put on a feeding tube, all kinds of crazy, crazy, crazy stuff that happened in the medical aspect of cancer. I went through chemo, had to shave my head. Musically, I lost my feeling in my fingers, so I had to figure out how to play guitar again. That was a whole nother episode. But I painted and figured out how to get the nerves to fire back in my hands. I went through oncology rehab for that, and just had to find my voice again. And during that process, I was writing all these songs. I couldn't really play the guitar, but I would beat on it like a drum, or I call them slapstick, kind of like when you're playing slapstick bass. I
Hmm.
would just kind of strum and try to make some rhythm on the guitar because I couldn't really hold chords. So I did that, and I wrote these little ditties, like 12 of them, that I kind of there was 122 songs that were put in folders all over my computer, and I found 12 of them that I really wanted to cut. And that's when I went, and after chemo, kind of probably too early, went down to the studio with Taylor, and went up to Phoenix with my friend Matt to record. And we recorded that project, and kind of had to put some things on hold because my voice after chemo was not
Hmm.
up to par. My friends didn't have the heart to tell me that, but later we're like, "Hope, we should probably recut those vocals." And we did. Went back and recut them, and we've been, since then, fighting this ongoing onslaught of, like, recurrence and infection and all the things that come along with after cancer that they don't tell you about.
Yeah.
And just this last week, for the first time since all this started, I've a completely clear PET scan.
Which is just amazing. And
Yeah,
what
like,
one thing I wanted to talk to you about, that I'm just so inspired by you, and the reason why I am is not because you're here, but because of your tenacity through it all, right? Like, through
mhm.
all of this shit that you've been put through, your art never went away. You just found fucking ways to do it, right? Excuse my language. You just found
Yeah,
ways. Well, my fingers
yeah.
don't work, so I'll paint. Well, my fingers don't work, so I'll slap. But I'm gonna find a way to do the things that I love, and there ain't shit you can do to hold me back. I love that tenacity, and that is what just blows me away about you. I don't even know you realize that, right? Like, you are so tenacious. Seriously.
Well, people say it to me, and it's one of those compliments that you want to, like, the child in you wants to look at the floor, right? You get
Hmm.
embarrassed, and you feel, insecure because I don't feel strong sometimes. I don't feel
Of course not. Yeah.
tenacious sometimes. There are days where, people don't see the hard days where I want to give up,
Mhm.
and so I want people to believe I'm real, even though I have chosen to post a lot of the positives in my journey. There I don't want them to feel like somehow I'm this superwoman, stronger than anybody else that could overcome this. I'm not, because there's a lot of women that I've seen that haven't won their battle, but we're
Yeah.
tenacious too, right?
Yeah.
So but yeah, it's a really wonderful thing to be here and to have not given up, to have poured my pain into my art was probably the biggest and best decision that I ever made during this process, not to give up on it.
Mhm.
Because the days that I did give up on it, because there were days where I didn't get up and do
Of
it,
course. Yeah.
and those days were not the happy days, and the happy days were the ones where I was painting with neon. I got into this neon glow in the dark stage with my art for a while, and I
Yeah.
was like 12-year-old going woohoo,
Yeah.
and it changes your life. Like when you need your whole world is in this prison that is your home, and in your body you're kind of entrapped in this like not feeling well. And so when you paint something colorful, it heightens that nervous system arousal of like, hi, I'm happy, this is pretty, and it just changes your world. It really does. I believe wholeheartedly. I'm going through my holistic practitioner course in art and music because I believe wholeheartedly that it can save us
Yeah.
when we're going through cancer
It's
and
just all
other
the stuff
things.
you're going through, like it would put me down. And here you are, oh, it's time to go to the studio. We're going to go cut this record. And I'm just like, what do you mean? Absolutely not. You should be like watching Netflix or something. Like, but no,
Yeah,
like
I did a lot of that.
I imagine, but still, like the last thing I
Yeah.
would be doing, I suspect, is planning something big, like going to the studio. That is work. That's the work
Yeah.
side of music, right? That nobody wants to
Yeah.
tell anybody about, like getting into the studio. Those are
Yeah.
hard days, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And so,
Well, I think for me, my dad was a huge inspiration. I've got a picture here of us like literally going on his bucket list trip, getting on the airplane. This is 5 o'clock in the morning after he checked himself out of ICU to go on his bucket list trip. He said,
mhm.
I'm going. So I had to take him. I was scared to death I was going to lose him.
So I see
you
where you
know,
get it from. Then that's where that
yeah, so
tenacity
he
comes
he
from.
taught me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really a real to see him go. I said, "Dad, you're not scared to die?" They let us go from the hospital. He wasn't going to get a transplant. Had just gotten to the top of the transplant list. And he's like, "I'm going to have a party." Like, let's go. So we went, and he went to Vegas. We went to Cirque du Soleil. He tried to take out a bunch of people on a scooter, accidentally, didn't know how to drive it. But yeah, so I think his love for living, and his childlike curiosity. I think one of the biggest things that saved my life was my childlike curiosity for creating things. I love to create something from nothing, like a purse, find it, like make it out of denim jeans, or something just random. Like I love creating, and he was a woodworker. He loved to make stuff, and apparently at the end he loved to make memories. And so that's kind of, I'm like, yeah, let's do adventure. Let's create.
Yeah. Is that where you learned that like no wall exists? Because like you have these obstacles that are being put in front of you. And I
Yeah.
mean, at that point, you can either choose to let the wall exist or find a way around it, right? And I mean, over the course of your history, you've found ways around these walls. Are you learning that from your dad?
A lot of that came from him. I could credit some of that, to my mother. My mother actually and I, we have a really difficult relationship, to be
Mhm.
honest. It's been really hard on her to go through watching me sick and then get better and then almost die and then get better. Like I had some near death experiences where, I was needing blood and stuff, like it got serious. And so I think I find that she went through some horrible stuff in her childhood with her mother was murdered. And so she's one of those too, like she's not going to let anything, stop her from living, and she was an artist, she was a painter, so I got some of my painting from her. But I think that, yeah, I've learned that you just have to keep going, man.
Mhm. I love that, and really, really excited to catch up with you. Just because, again, cancer free finally. Still not well, right? You're still dealing with some things, and
Hmm.
I know you'll get through those as well.
Oh
And
yeah.
talking about getting your voice back, you're talking. You're not able to sing right now, are you?
No, and that was one of the things I was going to say in regards to that last thing. One of the ways that I think I kept going through this, and I would be remiss to say that this was all me and my tenacity.
Right.
Uh, People came along at exactly the right time in my life that were angels on earth that like literally held me up and walked me through this.
Hmm.
Um, we ended up making a goal to do the first ever concert on a glacier. And I had no idea why this thing happened, or how it happened like it did. I met someone with Haley, Alaska, this guy named Rob and his wonderful girlfriend Janessa, and she's a videographer. And between the two of them, giving me a goal to fight through life for, this big epic thing,
Hmm.
it really helped focus me to keep wanting to get up every day and fight through this cancer part of it, right? To do the work to get better, to be able to live out these dreams that I was setting before me. And it wasn't me like dreaming them up. These people were like, "You want to do a concert on a glacier?" I'm like, like, yeah, let's do it, do you want to do a music video out in Alaska? Sure, let's go, tour. So it was opportunities that I was given to live life to the fullest, and it just kept me going, man. It just was
Yeah.
wonderful. And I think anybody has opportunity to travel, to see different things, to take yourself out of your box when you're going through the hardest thing. That's what you need to do.
Yeah. Uh, Beautifully spoken. I'm glad that you can see the other side now. So now that you're almost to the other side, what are you hoping is on the other side for you?
I'm rolling the dice. I got some dice. I don't know. I think that my voice is different. I think I have a lot of challenges with that. It went away back in September. We've got some nerve problems and damages with that. And so, like, I have to change the way that I do things. And one of my biggest pieces of advice to anybody going through anything hard is pivot. Like, if something really bad blocks you, turn the other direction. There's another aisle. Okay,
Hmm.
some hits that hallway, turn around. Some hits that hallway, turn around. Keep turning until you find a way to go that feels good,
Yep.
and so that was what art was for me. And so I'm trying to pivot. I'm teaching a lot of art therapy and healing through painting and healing through songwriting classes, doing a lot of one-on-one and workshops and retreats. I spoke for a radiology conference at Imaging Associates and with Let Every Woman Know, and I've been invited. I'm hoping I make it. April 1st is my decision for commitment, but I might be climbing Mount Rainier this summer.
What? Let's go.
Let's go. So I'm rolling the dice, man, big this year. And if I don't get to do Rainier physically because I have some surgeries coming up, we don't know if that could change the course. But I'm gonna do Rainier. It's on my bucket list. So if not this year, at some point we'll do Rainier, and we'll get to talk about that. But they're doing Everest in 26, and we're gonna do another glacier concert in
Wow.
26. That's on the books. So
Incredible
you gotta
stuff.
come. You gotta come to the glacier concert this time.
Oh yeah, like that'll ever happen.
Well, we're gonna get you there. We're gonna get you there. But yeah, my hopes and dreams are huge. I want to release the music video that we filmed up in Alaska and start releasing these music like once a month until I get my voice back
Hmm.
completely. Once I get that back, then I would like to be singing again. But for right now, I can't really do a show. I'm still learning how to sing with this new voice. It's there's some nerve damage, so.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the music. Every week we have a pick of the week, and Hope's pick of the week this week is a song called "Empty Room" by Jillian Hudson. So, tell me about this song. Why does it mean so much to you?
Well, honestly, to me, I wanted to give her some love because as a young performer, when I was her age and getting getting going, some things that people did for me really skyrocketed what I was doing and helped me along the way. And
Hmm.
I love working with young songwriters that are ambitious and that really, when I met Jillian, the reason that I just fell in love with her, she reminds me of me when I was a little girl. Like her just the way that she approaches her music, the way she loves it, how passionate she is about it. And I think she's a firecracker. I think she's going to be one to watch.
So
I
I
think you guys
never,
are
I
going to love
never
her.
ever listen to the pick of the week, so it's always a blind react. So
Oh,
I'm
cool. That's
excited to
cool.
blind react to it, and let's talk about the song that you are featuring this week. I'm excited about this one because it doesn't exist anywhere. We are the
No.
first people to hear this song tonight, outside of course, the people that made it, including Hope. But this is the first time that Hope Cassity is sharing this song with the world. It's called Heavyweight Champion, which is exactly who Hope is, by the way.
Hmm.
Tell us about this song.
Yeah, so the song was written in regards to what I went through with chemotherapy. Like you'll hear a line, I got it itching in my skin and aching in my bones. It's literally about the chemo bone pain and what that felt like. But on a personal level, like if you just listen to it and you hear it, it's more a very serious story that's about heartbreak and about coming back from it and believing in yourself, that you're strong enough to do it, that you don't need anybody else to walk along beside you, although it's wonderful to have those people that you can do it on your own.
Yeah. And again, Hope, thank you so much for being here with us. Where can people follow your
Thank
journey?
you. HopeCassity.com right now. There's going to be lots of changes on the website, new art going up, new workshops and retreats. I'm going to be doing
Are your
a
paintings
retreat.
available on there as well?
There are going to be some new ones, yeah,
Okay,
soon,
nice.
very soon. There are some still there, I think a couple, but yeah, there's going to be some new ones up. And this summer, I'm going to be hosting some songwriting and wellness retreats. I'm going to be hosting one at Lulu's Tents and Events and doing a couple more shows in Alaska, working with Let Every Woman Know and Any Mountain, which is the Rainier thing
Yeah.
project for cancer. So
Yeah, if
with
there's a
Dr.
mountain out
Hope.
there, be afraid of Hope Cassity. If you're an obstacle out
I'm
there, be
coming for you.
afraid of Hope
I'm coming
Cassity.
for you.
That's right. Hope, thank you so much for being here with me tonight. It's always
Thank
great to
you.
catch up with you, and you're always welcome back. Open invite anytime you want.
Oh, we should talk every now and then. It's awesome seeing you, and
Absolutely. Same to you.
I love your interviews. They're so fun. We always have a great time. So thank you, and I'll send you some dice so you can roll some too.
All right, great. You have a great night, Hope.
You too. Thank you.
Uh,
Are we going to listen now? Do I get to hear it or?
well, you'd have to go to either Twitch or Facebook, and
Okay.
you should be tagged in the Facebook Live on it, so you should be able to
Okay.
just click right into it.
Okay.
All right.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Thank you
You have a
guys.
great
I
night.
loved being here. I appreciate it. Bye bye.
All right. Good night. Guys, that was Hope Cassity. Let me get into my right screen here. Yeah, that was Hope Cassity. And guys, you're not going to believe this. This song that Hope is sharing with us tonight is not located anywhere. Like I said, it's not on Spotify. It's not on YouTube. You can't find it on SoundCloud. You can't find it on DistroKid. It's literally nowhere. I am the only one that has a copy of this, and we're going to be watching the video as well, okay? But make sure you guys are following Hope Cassity everywhere. She's located at hopecassity.com. The last name is Cassity.com. That'll be in the description down below. Just click on there, check her out, follow her on all of her social medias. And let's get into the music, guys. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch or Facebook, you can request a song live here on the broadcast, and we will play it as long as it's not offensive. And as long as it's on YouTube as well. But yeah, let's get into the music. This is Hope Cassity.